Hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual discussion series that's being hosted by the Chaldean Cultural Center, Unique Voices in Films, and CMN TV. Today, our special guest is Amer Hanna Fatuhi. Hi, Amer.
Hi, Wam. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So I'm gonna read Amer's bio. Amer is a scholar in Mesopotamian history and Iraqi minorities, cross-cultural communications and ethno-religious affairs. He is also a professional writer. Actually, he has authored quite a few books, and visual artist. He studied engineering, fine arts, and history, and he also designed the Chaldean National Flag in 1985, and won the 1986 to 2008 international contest to design the Iraqi National Flag. Oh, and we have Amer here today because his second book has just been published called Chaldean Legacy, Walking with the Indigenous Mesopotamians. Congratulations.
Thank you. And by the way, this is the second book with this company, but it is my 18th book.
It's your 18th. Wow. Well, I know you have various books, including a book on poetry, I believe, a book of poetry. And
Yes.
but I'm mostly familiar with, and most people are familiar with the untold story of native Iraqis, and now they will become familiar with Chaldean legacy. Can you tell us a little bit about what the book is about?
Before saying anything about the book, English is like my third or fourth language. But, I have been very fortunate to have like really very good team to edit the book. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. So the book, this book is somewhat very exceptional one. It is not the way that I wrote my previous one, The Untold Story of Native Iraqis, although I'm covering like almost the same exact subjects. But in this book, I focused on presenting Chaldeans as the genuine indigenous people of Iraq. It's not only that, I also focused on their achievements throughout history. So this book is 4 chapters. Chapter 1 is about the history of Mesopotamia or Mesopotamian history, people, the land, the rivers, as well as the most impressive 2 ancient capitals of ancient Mesopotamia and the Chaldean people who they are like the exact term to label them is Proto-Chaldees, because the Proto-Chaldees includes all the cultures like the Sumerian, the Akkadians, the Babylonian, the Assyrians, because in the end, according to many like modern studies, they are the same exact people. So in this book, I focus on in chapter 1 on presenting Chaldeans and their ancient cities. By the way, they had like the same exact name, which is Nun Ki. And Nun Ki, it's made of 2 cuneiform symbols. And those symbols, so both Mesopotamia, I'm sorry, both Babylon and Eridu are called the homeland of life, or Nunki. I also included within this chapter some mythologies, because I didn't want to like just focus on tangible like evidence. such as like tablets and some other stuff. But I also get some of my info from the mythologies. And by mixing mythologies and the tangible documents, I came up with this chapter. It is as exact as using the biblical verses with tangible documents to, to compare and to prove that they are on the same page.
And as you know, as you know, there is a lot of debate with regards to, the history of the Chaldeans and whether or not they are the same, they encompass the same people. And I know, there has been other guests that I have brought on that have had different views. Is there like a particular reference or a particular point that you can reference that would help maybe have people, look into to see the truth behind that or the fact behind that? Or is there just many different?
I'm just waiting to answer. Okay, so thank you for asking this very, very important question. I respect everybody's idea and everybody is entitled to his opinion. However, facts are what matter. So that's why, like, when I finished like chapter 1, I came up with chapter 2, which is the achievements, like Chaldeans achievements or Mesopotamian achievement throughout histories. And I just presented the 60 achievement. The reason behind using the 60 because our ancestors are the one who created or came up with the sexagesimal system. So aside from that, I came up with chapter 3. Chapter 3 is linking between ancient Chaldeans and modern Chaldeans. And it's called or entitled Chaldeans from the 1st to 21st century. And I just selected a few out of many tangible evidence that prove that those are the same exact people. That's why in every century, I presented like 1, 2 to 3 tangible documents, proof beyond doubt that we are the same exact people. However, I will leave the judgment to the readers to decide. But you know what? You can cover the sun with your palm of hand. The sun is the sun. So anyhow, facts are facts. So thank you once again. I respect everybody's opinions. Everybody is entitled to her opinion, but facts are what matter. Thank you.
And so the emphasis on that subject is in chapter 3, you're saying, of your book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So why was May 17th, because that's the publication date, why was the book specifically released on that day? What's the significance behind that?
It is the Chaldean National Flag Day. I tried not to release my book like in a normal on a normal day, so that's why I selected. First, I selected April 11 because Akito, the Chaldean Babylonian New Year festival, goes from April 1st to April 11. And I tried to release the book on April 11 because it's the last day of Akito festival, as well as it is my second set of twins birthday, Somer and his sister Orok. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So that's why I pushed it to the Chaldean National Flag Day, which is May 17th.
Yes, and by the way, I'm familiar with you having, every time you say the 2 set of twins, I always remember your wife, and I give her so much credit Myself,
Yeah,
only two children. I give her so much credit for raising really beautiful kids. So, and
thank you. God
for
bless you.
at almost the same time. Um, so, you know, between the untold story of Native Iraqis and the new book, The Chaldean Legacy, you use, you know, unique tool visual elements that are different from other traditional books. What is exactly, you know, what is exactly your approach with regards to this kind of work?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question because I've been receiving a lot of text messages
Oh, sure, not a
uh, concerning the, you know, the interview. And I believe my brother, Tamil Katib, which I just want to say something. Uh, Honestly, this book, I couldn't even think of releasing it if it is not for the support from really good, smart, and committed people, including, you know, the editing team, like Malik Mary, Professor Malik Mary,
oh, he's one
uh,
does that all the
uh, and my daughter Orok,
time.
as well as Mr. Sal Mishkur. I also got a lot of support from Tamil Katib and Ra'ad Mary, specifically providing me with a lot of stuff that will support Chapter 3. So for them, I cannot say any, like, I'm thanking I'm very grateful to them beyond words. And I also want to add my brother and my closest friend, John Rumi. He helped me a lot in improving the design, the inside pages design, and the images of the book. And by the way, I just want to mention one thing very fast.
Mhm.
Like if you take any book, history book, for the well-known people, Kramer, Woolley, Kovacs, you name it, okay? You won't see more than like 15 to 20 common images. In my book, there is 184 genuine or built from scratch images to support, you know, the text or the manuscript. Besides, I created 30 illustrations, museum illustrations. I used to do illustrations for museums. And in this book, I created 30 illustration digitally. So these are like very amazing approach to support the book. And please, could you repeat your question?
Actually, you just answered it. This is what I was going to ask you about with regards to the visual elements that were included, and you just kind of answered it. So you must have subconsciously heard the question. Yeah, yeah. Despite all the text that you're getting, so that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, because you know I was like distracted. So yeah.
They're checking if your Zoom account. Don't worry, we've had issues with our Zoom account, and you know we're trying to get it fixed. But normally we do live through Chaldean Cultural Center Facebook, but now we have to go through mine. But they still people can still view it on Chaldean Cultural Center, so I totally understand. You
Yeah,
know, yes.
image, but I cannot see you. There is like a message.
Oh, you can't see me, so you're just
Yeah,
relying on my voice. Okay, that's okay.
yeah.
Well, you're doing a good job hearing me, so that's good.
Okay.
So who would you say would benefit the most from this book?
Quite frankly, you know, every person, every individual who is interested in learning about Mesopotamia, not through the traditional channels, but through like the most updated information. Besides, like for example, you know, my wife, she's a professor, and she is very interested in history, although linguistics is her field. But sometimes when she posts something, I go and tell her, you know what, this is not proper, it's not accurate, because, you know, this is like very, very old info. Oh, honey, you know what, this is what I got from, you know, from the, you know, this YouTube channels or whatever. I said, okay. So, but the issue is, everybody who is interested in ancient Mesopotamia and to learn about the Chaldean people and the indigenous people of Iraq are the one who they are going to benefit the most. Besides, this is a very important point. My goal behind writing the book or books about Mesopotamia, you know, just to make Chaldeans recognize genuinely as the indigenous people of Iraq. This will help protect them from, you know, going in the dark without nobody knows about them. Chaldeans deserve to be protected, deserve to be recognized by the Iraqi constitution as the indigenous people of Iraq. And we have all the evidence to support that. Besides, I believe students and those who are interested in writing papers, theses, or dissertations about ancient Mesopotamia, they will find a lot of tangible documents to support their thesis or their reports. So, and like scholars and common individuals, they can benefit out of the book because it's very simple and supported with a lot of images. And I believe it's going to be like one of a kind trip or voyage through the history of ancient Mesopotamia and modern day Chaldeans.
You know, it's my understanding that I believe it was last year, did the Iraqi government make that kind of recognition with regards to the Chaldeans being indigenous? And this was, I don't follow the Arabic news as much as, so sometimes I just hear things and I don't know the accuracy of that. Are you familiar with that? If
frankly, you know, I'm not into politics.
Okay.
I'm non-political, not religious person when it comes to Mesopotamia and history and academic papers. Although I'm, you know, I'm a Christian and, you know, I love everybody. But this is my belief. So yeah, concerning that question, it's always words, not deeds. This is all I can say.
Okay. So
I'm sorry, this is concerning the Iraqi government. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, we met a while back since in 2004, and from
Jesus, you have a great memory.
No, I do. I prepare for my interviews. Otherwise, my memory is not. And I know that we have not been, for various reasons, you know, everybody has taken their own path, but we've both continued, you know, we met as writers, but then I was introduced to your art and you had a studio in Ferndale where artists would meet. And when I say artists, it wasn't just visual artists, but people of different backgrounds. I actually met quite a few, some of the people that I'm still in touch with, who I really, really care about, including Nilal Garmo, and including Paul Batu, who one of my books, I chose one of his art pieces because it really matched so much my topic. And a lot of these people, Zuhair Shaouni, I met at your studio. And because at that time I wasn't really as involved with the Chaldean community, and my book had just came out and you introduced yourself to me, and you introduced the untold story of native Iraqis, but then invited me to the studio where I realized that you do a lot of artwork. And I'm curious, you know, do you still do that? Are you still very active, and what are your plans for your artwork for that part?
Yeah, before going to that um, spot, I just want to mention the term Proto-Chaldees or Chaldeans in my book covers three people. You know, the Iraqi Christian, Chaldean Syriac, and Athornai. Beside, it's also cover the Iraqi Jews of Babylon, because we are brothers and sisters, as well as Mendians. Mendians are also Chaldeans of ancient Babylonian. We have different religions, but like our ethnicity is one. So when I say Chaldean, I mean like the native Iraqi Christian, the Iraqi Jews of Babylon, as well as Mendians. I just want to clarify this point. Concerning my artworks, yeah, I used to have the Mesopotamia Art Gallery. If you remember, it was like 3 stories building. It used to have, just let me read this. Okay, I missed the text. Anyhow, so concerning that gallery, it's no longer there. Yeah, it's no longer there. But now I have Atelier A. It is my private studio. Besides, I'm working hand in hand with 2 other artists, Jarumi and Ani Salatian. And we have a art gallery. We started this art gallery 2 years ago. It was located in New York and New Jersey. Now we are moving it to Scottsdale, Arizona. However, you can go to that to visit that gallery if you click on www.ea-artg.com. And Aya, as you know, he is the ancient god of arts and knowledge in ancient Mesopotamia, and the father of Marduk, the prominent god of Babylonian. So yeah, I'm still doing my artwork, and in fact, I cannot breathe without doing my paintings. It's like my oxygen.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
you express that. And is there a plan to display your illustrations and your artwork in any particular upcoming exhibitions?
Good question. Yeah, good question. Honestly, yeah, I'm planning to exhibit the 30 illustrations within maybe a month or 2 in an art exhibit about ancient Mesopotamia throughout history and throughout paintings and illustrations. Yeah, this is related to the book. Besides, I'm planning to have my 2-man art exhibit with Jarumi. He's an amazing artist. You can see his work, or you can check his work if you go to.
Yeah, maybe we can have him as a guest in the future. That's
so.
learn so much the more we connect. That's why I love to connect with various community members, whether locally, nationwide, or internationally, because you end up learning about all these creative people that we have and that are contributing so much to society.
Yeah, honestly, Ani Salatian is doing a great job. She's from the Armenian community, and John, he is Mandian, Chaldean, and proud. And he has 2 master degrees in media technology, art, and whatever. But he is an amazing artist. He is using the cuneiform inscription within his artwork in a very very amazing way. I just love his artwork.
Okay, well,
Yeah. So yeah,
well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes. Well, and so so you are very active in your art, and you will be having exhibits and things like that in the future, which please do share with us as the time comes. And because we only have a few minutes left, I would really like, any last words for the community, just whether inspirational words or a message that from your observation and from working with the community for such a long time.
You remember I used to be the I'm sorry, the president of the Chaldean Educational Center. And we did a lot of cultural events, including an art exhibit and programs. Used to be, it's called Art Saves Our Children. And from my like my opinion, or honestly, I think that one hand can clap. So as an author, you are an author. If you write a book and the people do not read the book, it means nothing. And that's why when I write about Chaldeans, it's not just for Chaldeans or about Chaldeans, because we are one people, and this is one small world. And we need to better reach out to each other and love each other and support each other. Because, whether you write a book or paint an artwork, it's all about love. And this is the only message that I believe in.
Well, it's a very nice message. And you just reminded me of something. You have a very extraordinary story about your days in Iraq and how you left there. And I was reminded of a book that I wrote called Iraqi Americans, The Lives of the Artists, where I interviewed 16 different artists of Iraqi background from all over the United States. And you are in this book. And I encourage people, to read it, because you've gone through a very hard journey to come here, and yet continue to be very productive. So Amer, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I've been tortured, sentenced to death, but you know what? It is life. Nobody can break you. The only one who can break you is yourself. So you have to be committed to the work. I'm sorry if I have 1 more minute.
Yes, continue.
Yeah. A friend of mine, I just love her. She is also an artist. Her name is Nadwal Parawali. And she contacted me one day. She was very upset and even crying. So how we could fix this world? I started laughing. I said, we can't. We are just individuals. The best thing to do is to continue doing your best in your field. If you are an artist, do your art. If you are an engineer, do your best. If you are a teacher, help the kids. It's the only thing to help the world survive and understand and love each other, is to do your best in your field. And this is what I'm trying to do.
Well, this is a very nice last words to leave us with, because like I said, that's what I remember when I interviewed you, is a hardship. And not just you, most of the artists, but because of yours was on a different level. And then you guys have survived and thrived. And thank you very much, Amer. I really appreciate you coming and doing this interview, and thank you for writing the book. Thank you everybody for joining us. This interview will be recorded and made available on our social media. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.